Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another review, this time of The Disaster Artist. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to put spoilers, but it's probably not going to be that long of a review because I don't want to go too in-depth, but I do want to touch on a few things. So it's spoilers, but it's not going to be as in-depth as other reviews. It's kind of one of those movies that speaks for itself. But The Disaster Artist is based on this book, which I haven't read, and there's this movie made called The Room. Now, I know of The Room. I've seen plenty of clips of The Room and people talking about The Room. Would you review it and watch it? I have a lot of other stuff I need to get to. I only wanted to talk about it because I wanted to watch a couple movies before I do my 2017 best and worst list. This is one I was really curious to see because I like James Franco. I really liked him in 127 Hours. Really liked him in that. I would say my favorite film he's been in. I enjoyed him in Your Highness. I think that's an underrated fun movie. And he's playing Tommy Wiseau, the director and star of The Room, and he did a wonderful job. There were times where I'm like, where's James Franco? All I see is Tommy Wiseau. And the way he talked and, oh, hi, Mark. It's bullshit. I didn't do it. It's bullshit. See, I can't do it right. But he did it very well. It was cool to see the cast in this, and I'm going to start spoilers right now, and for those who want to see the movie. So starting right now. It was interesting to see the cameos in this movie. At the beginning of the film, you have people talking about Tommy Wiseau in The Room, and it's people like Danny McBride and Kevin Smith and other people. Throughout the film, Bryan Cranston makes a cameo as himself, and like him at that point was doing Malcolm in the Middle. Even other people like Melanie Griffith and Sharon Stone make an appearance in this, and they're not in the film that much, like in one scene each. Like Melanie Griffith makes an appearance near the beginning, after those opening interviews, as an acting teacher. Sharon Stone makes a quick appearance later on as a person who signs one of the characters for their agency. Seth Rogen is in it. Not as much as maybe the trailers make it out to be, but he's in it little bits, but he plays it very straight. Meaning, if you're expecting, it's a Seth Rogen who's no, this is straightforward character because he's the script supervisor, and there's not the Seth Rogen from Pineapple Express or Neighbors, and so he's not in the film tremendously. He's in it for little bits when they get to the making of the movie The Room, but he's very straightforward. It's mainly James Franco and his brother Dave Franco who plays this other guy named how the hell did I forget his name? Greg? Yeah, Greg. And it's them meeting each other, their friendship developing. Tommy Wiseau, James Franco going, hey, let's go to Hollywood, let's go to LA. And throughout the film, there's three things you never really know about him. His age, where he's from, because he keeps saying he's from New Orleans, but you can tell from his accent he's not, and where he gets all this money. And the movie itself never answers those three questions. I don't know if there's more to that. Like if someone read the book or whatever, like where he got all his money, Tommy Wiseau and so forth. Or if there's something else to it I'm missing. But it was cool to see those people at the beginning, and it was cool to see Melanie Griffith. She's in one scene. And Tommy Wiseau's character, he's sort of James Franco's Tommy Wiseau, he's full of himself, but at the same time, he just doesn't give a shit. Oh, whatever. Like they're in a diner, and Dave Franco's character is very quiet, while James Franco's character, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, "Hey, it's a diner. Come on, don't be weird. Just do it." And they do this scene in a diner in a restaurant. We both have this dream. welcome to my planet. And then uses this pencil with like a little earth that says Tommy's planet. Like a very peculiar character, which throughout the film there are moments that you don't like them and you're not supposed to like them. But at the same time, I still found myself interested in him. And in a weird way, still kind of liking him. And there's some funny parts to the movie. I guess maybe the movie wasn't as funny as I thought it'd be, so maybe I was like a little bit disappointed in that. It seems like it's funny, but in a way it's a little bit more of a drama than a straight up comedy. Even though there are quite a few funny parts, but it's more dramatic and comedic than just a straight up comedy. So maybe it's just like this wasn't quite what I was expecting, or maybe just a tad disappointed. But there's some funny moments, like when Dave Franco's mom doesn't want him to go with this guy, and she looks at him and goes, "Well, how old are you?" "Oh, I'm same age as him." "Oh, really? Well, you know what? I just turned 14." And then without missing a beat, James Franco's character goes, "Wow, happy birthday." That was pretty funny. And he does at least push Dave Franco to follow his dreams. "Hey, come to LA with me. Well, we gotta try to do it. You can't do it just staying here." And Dave Franco gets an agent thanks to Sharon Stone in her one scene. And I mean, I'll speak for myself. I do get some sympathy for Tommy Wiseau's character where he's not good, let's be honest. He's not a good actor. But he's trying, he's just not good. But people are like, hey, you could be a villain, you could be Dracula, or Frankenstein's monster. But I want to be a hero. And pretty much people tell him straight out, listen, you never will be. And there are moments where he does push it. Like there's Judd Apatow was in this. I don't know if I forget if he was playing himself or just playing a different character, but like he goes up to him and says it's Shakespeare and kind of pushes Judd Apatow, and Judd Apatow pushes back. And so there are moments where you don't like the Tommy Wiseau character, but the movie's not trying to make him a hero. Like there is a reason for that. Like it's not, oh, he's doing this, but it's not a bad thing. No, it is to show that he's not a perfect guy. He is a flawed guy, very flawed. And you do like even with the accent and the stuff James Franco has to pull off, he does. I thought got some good emotional moments where he's on the roof with Dave Franco. And he's like, I don't know how, Greg. Maybe this was a mistake. And he just lost, doesn't know what to do. And then Dave Franco gives him the idea, we should make a movie. And he's like, that's a good idea. Another moment that made me laugh a lot is he writes the script, and then gives it to Dave Franco, and Dave Franco's reading it, and as he's reading it, you hear James Franco's voice, what the dialogue would be, and one of them is like, in a few minutes, bitch. Like, that came out of the blue. With the accent he was doing, that made me laugh. And also, this movie was definitely trying to get on my good side, because it does feature, for very briefly, Epic, the song Epic by Faith No More, which is a song I really enjoy. And not many movies use that song, other than The Taking of Beverly Hills with Ken Wall. But not many people use that song. So it was like, oh my god, it's nice to see that song again. Or hear that song again. And they start getting the casting call, which is some fun sequences. They get Seth Rogen as a script supervisor. The first day of shooting, there's a fake alleyway, and Seth Rogen goes, why aren't we shooting that real alleyway? And James Franco goes, because this is a real Hollywood movie. And then you see them filming scenes that you remember from The Room. Like, I did not hit her. I did not. Well, hi, Mark. But he keeps messing up. At one moment, he goes, this, like, I hit her. Ah, oh, shit. And then that's when the James Franco's character is getting full of himself, narcissistic, treating people like shit. And I like the Dave Franco. He's not down with this. He's like, this is wrong. And then Tommy Wiseau is going, as James Franco's Tommy Wiseau going, he's mentioned Stanley Kubrick and Alfred Hitchcock. He terrified artists, nasty stuff. The artists, they try every day. They won awards. Even one poor woman passes out because she's not getting the water. People starting to hate him for good reason, and there is reason to. And I can see some people watching this and just not liking his character at all, no matter what. And I can see that. But what he's doing is wrong, and it is wrong, and people call him out on it. And like there's this awkward sex scene, and like the girl is saying, no, it's okay, but then even the DP is going, this is bullshit, this is not happening, this is bullshit. And again, you, in a weird way, people in the casting saying you would play the villain. He is the villain. In a way, he is the villain of the movie. And Dave Franco is kind of the hero of the movie. And then they kind of have this weird symbiosis thing going on. I mean, it comes to a head when Bryan Cranston himself sees Dave Franco and says, hey, I'm doing an episode marked in the middle. We need a lumberjack. You got the beard for it. And he tells James Franco, and James Franco says, no, I need you. This is our movie. You cannot shave the beard. You can't do it. And then later on, that leads to a conversation where they struggle, and Dave Franco says what James Franco's character needed to hear. So I'm doing this weird thing with my blinking, and I'm thinking of why did I not hate James Franco's character? Because for all intents and purposes, I should. But just because I liked what James Franco did, and because like his character was Tommy Wiseau, is interesting enough that it still made me, in a weird way, kind of see what would happen next with his character. And then months later, you have the premiere of the movie, and people are laughing, and Tommy Wiseau gets upset. And then Dave Franco goes, well, okay, it wasn't a good movie, but look at that reaction. Hitchcock never got that reaction. And that's the point, is that no matter what, people are enjoying the movie. Now, maybe it's to show us that none of us are perfect, but not by a long shot. But even being imperfect, you can make something that is considered one of the worst movies ever, but people still enjoy. So, hey, we're not all perfect. That doesn't mean you're going to lose in the long run. Maybe it's saying that. And even him sort of go, hey, thank you for watching my comedic movie. Which, that wasn't the purpose, but he kind of accepts that. I don't know if in real life the guy accepts that, but at least the character in the movie does. So, Grant, while I thought the movie would be funnier than I thought it would be, I know, okay, you do have like scene by scene reactions, like scene from the actual movie The Room, and then scenes they did, and very close with each other. Like little, only teeny tiny nitpick hiccups of, I did not hear, I did not. Like the not, James Franco did a little bit longer than it was in the movie, but like very, very, very close. Like you tell they did their research on it to try to mimic that. And then at the end, like Tom Wiseau himself has a, I think after the end credits, he has a cameo in the movie. But why I thought the movie wasn't as funny as I thought it would be, so maybe it's like a tad disappointing of that nature. But again, maybe because the movie's trying to be a little bit more dramatic than wasn't a flat out comedy. But still, it was well acted, it was well made. I think James Franco did a good job directing it. You could tell that there was some passion behind the project with the screenplay. I think Dave Franco and James Franco both did a great job in their performances. It made me interested to see what was going next. It's not too long of a movie. It's only 90-some minutes long, so the pacing is not shabby at all. The James Franco, again, he deserves some kind of nomination award season-wise. He's got to be nominated for an Oscar. He's got to be. Because he disappears into that role. He did a wonderful job. It was nice to see people like Seth Rogen and Bryan Cranston and Kevin Smith and Melanie Griffith and Sharon Stone. And overall, it was just an entertaining, interesting flick about this imperfect guy who made a very imperfect movie, but yet, in a weird way, for me, it adds some kind of charm. Which, maybe that's the most interesting part of it at the end of the day. And maybe that was the point. So, I don't know if it would be in my top 10 of the year. Probably not, but I still liked it. It was worth one watch. Granted, maybe for people who lived with The Room for years, unlike me, maybe they get even more out of it than I did. But I will say I liked the film. And believe me, if I hated it, I'd admit it. But I did like the film. So either way, and yeah, James Franco, man, I liked him in 127 Hours. I liked him in this movie. He did a good job. I'm a fan of his. So thanks for watching. Take care, and see you on the next one. Later.